So there's a young woman right now that is going incredibly viral. Her dad she's in Florida, and her dad is dying. He has about 6 months left to live, and he has been deported. And she has been documenting the process of trying to get her dad back so that way he could at least spend his last couple moments alive with his family. And in one of the videos where she is talking about this, mind you, there's a bunch of videos with her being on the phone with like attorneys and judges and trying to like get some kind of headway. And in one of the videos, she ends it with saying that she did vote for Trump. So, needless to say, huge reckoning that is currently happening right now on her socials. And in the midst of all of this, she posted a video, an accountability/apology video. And instead of summarizing it, I want to show it to you because I think that there's something very specific and important that I want to discuss within this.
As easy as it would be for me to say that I wasn't thinking when I voted or that I don't watch the news, I had to ask myself the same question that hundreds of you are asking me, is why did I vote the way I did? I've spent the last few days reflecting, and I feel like I came through some sort of revelation, or like blindfolds were ripped off my eyes. I started seeing things differently. I questioned my beliefs, my choices, and my role in all of it. I started to realize that it wasn't just this one choice I made. It was kind of a accumulation of choices I've been making for years. Like, for example, when I had my first daughter, I never taught her Spanish because I didn't care to have her learn Spanish. And after having my second daughter, I kind of knew that I wanted her to speak Spanish because I wanted her to be able to speak with my family and connect with them and have a sense of belonging with them. The hate I received online, although it was harsh, I feel like it was so needed, and I'm so thankful for it because it made me realize things that I was blind to for so many years. I feel like living in South Florida, surrounded by Republican voices, I was brainwashed into thinking I was one of them. I fell for the propaganda, the normalization of cruelty, and I believed the lies that gave me a false sense of security and belonging. I was convinced that voting for Trump was for the economy or against crime, when in reality I was supporting a man and a movement that dehumanizes people. He basically built his platform on targeting immigrants, spreading hate, and pushing policies that ultimately broke families apart. I regret my vote so deeply, and if I could go back and change it, I would. My vote wasn't just a mistake, it was the ultimate betrayal of the very people that I come from. My dad isn't a criminal. He was a hardworking man. He raised me and my 4 siblings, and now he's fighting for his life in a cell. I'm still fighting with everything I have to see if I can get him released so that he's able to spend his final days at home surrounded by his family and his children. When I voted for Trump, I supported the very system that allows this kind of cruelty to happen. That is a choice that I have to live with. Some people have said that my family deserves this, or that I or my dad deserve it, or that it's some sort of justice, but no person deserves to go through anything like this. No person deserves to be ripped away from their family. No one deserves to die alone and sick and far from people who love them. To my family, to my community, to my children, and to every single person who has been affected by the choice that I made, I am so sorry. I've started educating myself on immigration, on the US history, on systematic racism, and how people in power manipulate and try to divide us. I'm reading, listening, learning, and unlearning everything that I thought I knew. And to anyone who is feeling the same regret as I am, I want you guys to know that there's still a way for us to move forward, but it starts with honesty first. Somewhere along the way, I forgot where I came from. I forgot the dirt roads I used to walk down. I forgot the bucket paths I used to take. I forgot my mom's struggle and my dad's sacrifice to come to a brand new country to start a life for all of us. When I voted the way that I did, I turned my back on all of it. I know that a lot of you aren't going to forgive me, and I'm really not expecting anyone to, but I just want everyone to know that I'm going to move forward with more compassion, continue educating myself, and fight for those who can't fight for themselves.
So she and countless other ex-Trumpers and Latinos for Trump and Arabs for Trump and insert marginalized groups here for Trump, gays for Trump, whatever, are all coming to a reckoning. And some of them want to reconcile, some of them want to rejoin community, some of them want to, or at least saying, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that I did this huge thing wrong, and I'm learning, and and now what? And now what? We're going to bring back the handy dandy for this one because I got a number of thoughts and I don't want to lose them. How do people that have proven themselves to be unsafe rehabilitate and try to re-enter community? I have 5 thoughts on this. Before we get to those thoughts, hi, my name is Shayna. For those of you who are new here, I'm a journalist. On this page, I talk a lot about decentering men and child-free living. If any of that sounds like a vibe, please like, share, subscribe. Definitely share this information with people that you think this would be helpful for. If you want to learn how to write for money, become a journalist yourself, head over to my website. Everything is in the description. If you want to have a one-on-one call with me, in the description. If you want to join me over on Patreon, over in the description. All right, now let's dive into these thoughts. First of all, I think that she is, and this isn't my first thought, but I do think that she's on the right path. How do I know this? Because point number one, it takes accountability in the ugliest way possible. She was very vocal in her pain, and she, I feel, is being just as vocal in showing just how deeply she understands that she has done wrong. In the words of Ian Levan's aunt, you gotta show me the flat-footed truth. And not just me, but the people that you have done wrong, the community in which you have wronged, they got to see that flat-footed, buck-toothed, cross-eyed truth also. And I think that she's in the process of doing that. Next step, maybe not step, I don't know, point number two, recognizing and deconstructing the ways in which you are a dangerous community member. She talked about her internalized racism, her longing to be a part of the group that benefits from whiteness, aka white supremacy, which also goes hand in hand with anti-blackness. She talks about how she is starting to recognize just how deeply these entities, these toxins, these problems, these poisons have infiltrated her mind, her being, her way of mothering, and her way of building community and experiencing community even within her family. She is just starting that work, which she has said, and she says that she will continue to do that work, which leads me to point number three, filling in those gaps, those chunks of your brain and those like problematic traits and whatever that are internalized racism, anti-blackness, white supremacy. Those are going to leave gaps. It's going to leave little Swiss cheese portions, right? So you got to fill that in with something. And she's filling it in with education. And that is going to be a long-term thing. That's not okay, I'll give myself 2 months and then I'll know enough. No. This is going to be a thing. This is going to be a healing process and a relearning process for the rest of her life. Next, point four, show up and keep showing up as people possibly learn to trust you. This is the point where I think a lot of people slip up, and the next point, because you have to keep showing up. It's not like, oh, I've done enough work, now people should let me back into community. Now I feel I've proven myself to be safe. So obviously everybody else should agree with me. So let me into the club, guys. Let me into the resources, comrades. No, that's not how it works. You have to show up and keep showing up, which leads me to point number five. You have to be okay with no one trusting you indefinitely, ever again, and still having a commitment to doing the work. There is not necessarily a, yay, you did it, or you crossed the finish line, or here's your gumdrop, I'm so happy for you, pats on the back, kisses on the forehead. There's not necessarily going to be that warm welcome once you have crossed this hypothetical finish line. And this isn't even really about her, but I think that she, as is a lot of the content that I make on this page, we're using these situations as examples. Are you willing to continue to do the work, even if nobody says, oh, you're such a good girl, you're such a good person, and I'm so proud of you, and now you get to enter the club and you get to be, are you still willing to do the work? Are you still willing to show up? Are you still willing to take full accountability, even if none of those things happen like they do in the movies? If you are, then cool. Follow these steps, points, whatever, keep doing the work, and you're on your way to potentially being in community with other safe community members. You don't want to do those things? Listen, my name's just Shayna. I can't make anybody do anything. I'm just saying, if you want to prove that you're a safe community member and be in community, this is some of what the rehabilitation process looks like. If you have any thoughts on this, please like, share, subscribe, and oh no, if you have any thoughts on this, comment. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. There we are. Stay safe out there, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.